Hi everyone. Game week 15 didn't go well for me. Don't think it went well for anyone for that matter. I guess it was a good game week to have a bad game week. So before I begin, if you're able to like, share, and subscribe, that will be greatly appreciated. And before I reveal the team for game week 16, it's only fair to show how I did in game week 15. So, first and foremost, I scored below the average, annoyingly enough. I think after the first set of games, well, the Arsenal match anyway, I was well above the average, and I actually had a temporary 200k overall rank rise. But in the end, look, considering it was a bad week, still like an average score, pretty much. It's probably the best I could have hoped for. But the frustration was that the week before, I had so much going on in terms of points on the bench that I really could have done with like just some sort of luck, but it wasn't to be in the end. So, in terms of how the points were spread out, of course, Areola was a no-show, and Turner's my other sub-keeper, so nothing on the goalkeeping front. Then, thankfully, West Ham didn't keep a clean sheet, so nothing really lost there. And on to the defence, just a series of ones. So 3 points from the back line. No, with that in mind, I was actually glad that I didn't have a deep dark red arrow. And then onto the midfield. Surprisingly, with the exception of Mohamed Salah, everyone chipped in. So Palmer goal against United at Old Trafford. Saka probably could have got more against Luton, considering there were seven goals, effectively 14 attacking fantasy returns at Kenilworth Road, and Saka only got one. And Martinelli, who actually sort of got injured at the start of the match, but then was fine to carry on and scored. So, like damage limitation. And Mohamed Salah against Sheffield United, not good at all, got subbed off early. And I think I mentioned on my previous stream that I've actually um, like Captain Mohamed Salah. I think the last two times against Sheffield United when they're in the Premier League and just blanked. So not a good record against them, I guess. And then onto the forward line, nothing from the strikers there. And then the bench, yeah, I mean, Sufal, ironically, getting some points this time around. So on the whole, it wasn't that great. Before I just reveal the team as well, and quickly share findings from my poll for game week 16 as well. So in terms of polling, who is your FPL captain for game week 16 with just under 1,000 votes? Just ran this poll, I think just about an hour ago. It wasn't that long. Haaland leading by a clear country mile, despite Salah's record against Crystal Palace. And Luton, as we've seen, they're becoming quite stubborn to beat at Kenilworth Road anyway. So Haaland's EO will probably be easily 170, 175% plus among the top 10k. And Salah's effectively a differential captain. But just food for thought. And with City, I think 4 bad games in a row now, the last thing they would want to do is not win again. So kind of feel that that is a bit of a goal fest for City against Luton. So probably may not keep the clean sheet, but they'll certainly be like on ball to definitely get more points this time around. So with all of that said, here is my team for game week 16. So obviously, I was forced into a goalkeeper transfer as a result of Areola being injured and might only miss one more game, but I've got no playing goalkeeper. So I needed to take drastic action, as it were. So let me just flip my screen. So 2 free transfers at hand. I could have just done a boring goalkeeper transfer and just be done with it, but I needed to take like affirmative action. I needed to make the most of the seasonal fixture period as well. So what I've decided to do is firstly goalkeeping fun. Everyone's bringing in Dubravka. I've decided to be slightly different. I brought in Sanchez, and with Sanchez, I know City have Chelsea haven't been a bastion of clean sheets of late, but put in a good shift against United, and it's that generous fixture run. I beg your pardon, between now and the festive fixture period. Everton, Sheffield, United, Wolves, Palace, Luton, and then Fulham after the FA Cup games, and then got red block back to the Greens. Could basically start him as a regular starter up until the end of Jan and probably even into Feb as well. So it just made sense as a set and forget goalkeeper. Areola's been disappointing for the most part. Onto the defenders. Tsimikas, who got benched during the week, didn't make any appearance points either, so hoping he'll get minutes against Palace, but then becoming a bit of a rotation risk, so I do need to consider selling him eventually. Sufal against Fulham, again, not really expecting a clean sheet, but there's not much else I can start. And then Trippier against Tottenham, no really clean sheet potential in this match either for Newcastle, but attacking prowess, highly owned. I've got to start him really. There's no other options there. And on to the midfield. So you can see I've brought in a new midfielder as well. So I decided to sell Martinelli because the fixtures get slightly trickier for Arsenal, but also I've not been convinced by how he's done in the recent matches since he's come back from injury. So I've decided to get rid of him and get Sterling in. And with Sterling, it was more to do the fact, again, with Chelsea's fixtures. And I know he's going to like 4 yellow cards. So I'm kind of hoping that if he does pick up a yellow card during the festive period, then just one, that will effectively be his rest, and then he'll play the remaining games. But it's only a 1 match ban at the very least. So I'm willing to take that upside risk just due to the generous fixtures. And Sterling, he's been quietly scoring throughout this season as well for Chelsea, that they have depended on his prowess, especially with Nkunku being out from the start of the season until might be back soon, but can't see him getting regular starts as it stands. But okay, he blanked against United again and Brighton, got goals against City and at St James's Park, and then he's got a fancy return against Tottenham. So he's got the easier fixtures now. You'd expect him to hopefully get more goal involvements in the matches ahead. And Palmer, who seems like ridiculously underpriced as well. So I've got that triple up of Sanchez, Palmer, and Raheem Sterling. I know they've got the League Cup match as well, which was a bit of a concern for me. But at the same time, like I have to go for the upside. I had the money to get Jared Bowen. That wasn't an issue at all. I could have easily have got him. Could have got pretty much anyone in that price bracket. But then I thought to myself, I really need a differential, as it were, and make the most of the festive fixture run. And Bowen's record right now is absolutely unbelievable. And my thinking with Jared Bowen is that I'd eventually sell Alvarez during the blank, hopefully have 2 free transfers, ship him out, and then I can somehow upgrade Nakamba possibly. I don't know, probably don't even have the funds for it. But the thinking is that I need to get a 5th midfielder in sooner rather than later. And I'd hope that that can happen once I sell Alvarez. So yeah, onto the strikers. Watkins, Villa have been sensational at home. I know he didn't score in the match against City, but yeah, hopefully if there is a goal this weekend, then Watkins will be involved. And Alvarez and Haaland against Luton. Yeah, Haaland is my captain just due to the reasons I mentioned earlier regarding the captaincy poll. And with Alvarez, not that it's last chance saloon, but in terms of his price point, not expecting loads from him, but his returns have tailed off massively. He's got the assist in game week 14 and game week 12, and then game week 9, but it's becoming quite sparse. Whereas at the start of the season, he had a double-digit haul, and then he was getting back-to-back returns as well. So yeah, look, didn't cost me a lot, but I will have to ship him out after the blank game week. And De Bruyne, okay, won't come back anytime soon. He's been selected for the World Club Cup squad as well, but it makes you question, like, how long can I retain him? And the best time for me would definitely be to sell Alvarez after, well, as when once a blank game week takes place for them during the World Club Cup for City. So yeah, he is on the chopping board, not because he's a bad asset, but there are better players I could get um, in terms of form and in terms of fixtures as well going forwards, and also hopefully get like less managed minutes than him, especially once De Bruyne is back. So yeah, that's part of the consideration as well. I had exact money to get Bowen, just looking back at that Sterling transfer, but I have to go for the upside. Like my rank has barely budged over the past few weeks. I went from like 3 million to about 700k, dropped to about 990,000, and to be honest, I'm grateful he hasn't fallen back any further, but I just can't like take the risk of constantly having to um, just go steady. And I've made a video as well during the festive fixture period. It doesn't tend to be a good time of the year for me. And I was actually thinking of doing a -4 where I could have got rid of Nakamba. I think it would have been Gordon, Kudus, and Dubravka in for Turner, Nakamba, and Martinelli. I didn't do that in the end. I thought it wasn't worth a -4, but I think, and I would have had 8 like starters up top, so benching would have been a bit of a nightmare. And then I look at my bench right now. Areola, hopefully, his injury that he's got, he'll hopefully return sooner. So he'll starting keeper, but I don't intend to start him because I've got Sanchez. Gabriel, again, he's got 3 very difficult games for Arsenal. Um, so Villa at Villa Park, and then he's got Brighton at home, Liverpool away. So he'll basically be a sub 1 during this period. I don't intend on starting him. And then the fixtures get better during the end part of the festive fixture period. So yeah, that's food for thought. But yeah, sub 1, can't really do much with him. Charlie Taylor, he's demoted now to sub 2 status. So annoyed. I've never made use of his hauls. His like 1 goal in what 300 games for Burnley or something ridiculous. Then gets an assist and a clean sheet as well. Points I'll never get, but it's what 4.0 or 4.1 for a million, I guess. So or 4.0. So there he goes. Nakamba, I don't know how badly he's injured, but I'm hoping that these are my 2 subs for now. Yeah, it doesn't look that great. Part of me was thinking I could have upgraded Nakamba had Areola not been injured and I had a playing goalkeeper. I seriously considered just switching out Nakamba and Martinelli, and I could have done Gordon in and I think Kudus in as 2 free transfers, and I think that would have been perfect for me. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. And at the same time, I've now gone from having Palmer as a sub 1 4th, 5th midfielder to having triple Chelsea. So that's the biggest change from my side. It's looking for that upside opportunity, looking for the next bandwagon. And I'm really hoping, again, I'll just show those fixtures that Chelsea have during this period, that this is the start of the bandwagon. And I'm at a point where I have to take more risks at like the not 1 million mark. So it is looking for those bandwagons. I can't really play it fully safe. That's my default is to play it safe, and captaincy obviously that is the case. Everton away, just for Chelsea, it'll be a tricky match with the way Sean Dyche has got them, especially with their points deduction. But I'm expecting goals there. Sheffield United, Wolves, Palace, Luton, Fulham. There are goals there for this Chelsea team. The thing that really quite piqued my interest in Chelsea in particular, I know they're 10th in the Premier League right now, but it's just the goals scoring at Old Trafford. Got 3 goals against Brighton. Okay, just the one against Newcastle United, 4 against City, 4 against Tottenham. The fact they can score that many goals against City and Tottenham and Brighton, it makes you think that perhaps it's worth taking that chance on them. So look, that is my team for game week 16. And I see I've got some questions. So if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer a few. And yeah, just lock your teams in as well before the deadline. Just what I'd mentioned that as well. So questions are: start 3 out of Maguire, Pinnock, Lascelles, Gabriel, and Tsimikas. Oh, that is a bit of a tricky one. So yeah, I mean the fixtures don't look great for defenders during this game week, so that's a bit of a problem. I would say, like in terms of the ones that have been mentioned, obviously you'd start Maguire against Bournemouth, that's 1. You'd start Tsimikas against Palace, that's 2. And then Pinnock, I think Pinnock, if I'm not mistaken, Brentford have Sheffield United, so yeah, pick Pinnock. And then yeah, bench Lascelles and Gabriel. That's a fairly straightforward one there. And then Palmer or Solanke to start. I'd start Palmer because I've got him. And then other question is start Hwang against Nottingham Forest or Watkins against Arsenal or Palmer against Everton. In your midfield is Salah, Saka, Palmer, Bowen, and Hwang. Not too sure about that. Toss a coin. But there you have it. That is my team for game week 16. Sanchez in goal, Tsimikas, Soufal, Trippier, Palmer, Salah, Sterling, Saka, Watkins, Alvarez, and Haaland as my captain. And if you haven't already done so, please watch my Festive FPL tips video, which will help you during this period where we've got like 49 games in 24 days. And hopefully that will keep you in good stead for the next few games in FPL. Take care and all the best, everyone. Thank you. Bye.